What is going on, football fam? My name is Dave Sarner. Welcome to week 8 of the Rise and Fall Fantasy Football Show.
Woo!
What is this? Is this legitimately the halfway mark of the fantasy football regular season? If I'm not mistaken.
A little bit further, actually. Oh no, because it usually ends like week 16.
Yeah, week 16. So we're pretty much halfway there, man. We are right in the middle of the fantasy football regular season.
Absolutely insane.
Insane. I am joined here for the week 8 edition by my co-host from the 4th and 1 pod, Matthew Ferreira.
Good
What is going on? Good to see you too, bud. Now, I'm not wearing my Washington hat today. I do have it represented backside. But like you said, I had to go with the Bucks hat here, even though that team brought me a little pain today. And listen, before we get into anything, I gotta say, Chris Godwin, man, oh my God, it's just like he does well, has a 19-point game, and you think you're good to go, and like you're ready to go with him. And they brought an AB, and then he fucking dislocates his finger for a week, and it's just like,
oh boy, here I go injured again.
Oh, dude, it's like the week where I'm losing players. Like I don't have Gibson, I don't have Terry. Yeah. If Deontay Johnson doesn't go now, I might have to rely on Jerry Jeudy. So Matt, I know we talked off screen. Go ahead.
Yep, I was gonna say, although Drew Lock is supposed to be back, so that might help you out a little bit.
I mean, he's looked bad though so far. He's looked bad.
He's lost all his weapons. He got beat up. Like this is a rough year, man. This shit is hard to watch.
I almost am debating dropping Jerry Jeudy this week because, well, not debating, but I might have to. I don't have anyone else to really drop in the, and it's either him or Higbee, and I don't know. You know, I think I might just drop him too, maybe, but
yeah.
I mean,
like Higbee ain't really that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But before we get into everything, guys, just so everyone's aware, I have a crazy personal week next week and 2 weeks. So this is going to be our kind of halfway mark show, our midway, you know, let's say it's a halftime show, right? We got our halftime show here midway through the fantasy season. I will be off maybe next week. If I can finish my crap, then I will be back on. But today we're not doing the game by game.
Get your shit together.
Yeah, I gotta get my shit together, put it in a bag, and take it to the shit store, and get my
shit museum.
In the shit museum. I don't care. But so today we're gonna do something a little bit more or less formal than the game by game, breaking everything. We're just gonna kind of go down the list of quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. I'm going to be using Yahoo Fantasy Stats, so you can look this up yourself. I'll be kind of dipping into DraftKings a little bit if we identify DFS I want to see what he's worth or whatever. That all being said, it's going to be just me and Matt. You're going to look at our beautiful faces for the next, 1.5 to 2 hours, however long this lasts today. And then we're going to just kind of break down the guys you need to know about. We'll talk about all that stuff. So Matt, before we do anything like that, let me just go through the bye weeks here, the teams that are on bye. All right, just so we have an idea of guys out and team, who everyone has to prepare for. Washington, Arizona, Houston Texans, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are all on bye. Right away, that says, it doesn't really, I mean, yes, quarterback, you're losing 2 top-tier quarterbacks, but in my opinion, man, the wide receivers, you're losing some really good depth at wide receiver. Terry McLaurin, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, who came on a little stronger this week, Will Fuller, Cooks, Chark, Keelan Cole.
I mean, even though Chark has been a little... this time.
Did you see who went down today?
D.D. Westbrook?
D.D. Westbrook out for the season. I mean,
yeah. So I wonder if that means my my little side project ends up becoming a little bit more interesting here.
Well, it's funny. You weren't on the show that week, but you texted me, that week, and when he scored, and I talked about it on the show without you, and I gave you props. I was like, listen, Matty's boy's coming on. And it could be some time now, especially with how I don't know. It just seems like there's someone that can step up there.
They need someone, especially in the red zone, and that's kind of his specialty. He's not like a big breakaway guy, so if they have someone else to work down the field, he might be that guy in the red zone. And like I said, I think in the first show, like Minshew is really fucking good in the red zone. So I would think at some point here we're going to see him kind of click on. So even if I don't personally have him on my fantasy team because I am strapped for depth right now, if you have the space or you're in a dynasty league, this might be the time to take a flyer on him.
Yeah, 100%. Because, Keelan Cole has his weeks. Laviska Shenault is good. And DJ Chark, I mean, he can't stay on the field. It feels like, you know,
He's
at
just
any
getting
given time.
beat the fuck up. But I mean, isn't it? What year is this for him?
This is year 3, something
Oh,
along
is
those
it?
lines.
I thought it was year 2.
It could be year 2. I think it's year 3. I think it's year 3.
Hmm.
Because no. You know, I'm thinking D.D. Westbrook is probably year 3. I think he's year 2. I think you're right.
I think D.D. Westbrook's way longer than that.
Sure, I thought they were like a year apart, and I wish I could.
I feel like he got drafted in like it's 2017. You're right.
Well, let me just see something here. So DJ Chark, right? And of course, I can't find him when I need to right now. Here we go. So DJ Chark
was 2018. So yeah.
Right. So he's 2018. Yeah. So it was.
I think his third year.
Yeah, I think it was a year apart. So DD's in his 4th year or something like that. But here's what's concerning me, Matt. Now targets aren't exactly a concern with DJ Chark. We'll just start with that real quick. Last 3 weeks for DJ Chark, 3.1 against the Texans in week 5. Week 6 against Detroit, 8 points. Los Angeles Chargers, 3 points. Chargers are good defense, even with their injuries, but like Detroit and Houston, those are matchups. Now he got hurt, I think, in the Houston game. He did have 14 targets in the Detroit game, but like, I mean, he's had one game over 10,
he's really,
over 11 points.
like kind of produced there.
Right.
And at this point, I'm not gonna lie. If I can get him to have a blow up game, I'll trade him.
Right.
He's been too inconsistent.
And I'll admit I was higher on him to begin with, but I've really cooled down. I mean, his targets are just not there right now. Like he did have 7 last week and 14, so I guess they're still there from that perspective. But like 7 targets, 1 catch last week. You know, 7 for 14, 45 yards a week before. It's not. You know, there's a reason why Gardner Minshew almost got benched. I mean, which is kind of, I guess, a little shocking. I don't think it's his fault, personally.
I don't know.
Jay Gruden's just a problem.
I wonder if that was just to light a fire under him. You know what I mean? Like that seems a little, so because who are they going to put in?
Well, yeah, I think it was, who was it? It was like some, I don't even know the guy's name. He was some random schmo off the street. Yeah.
Like it's the fact that we can't think of who it was. Like
it doesn't make any sense. But we'll get into Minshew here as we go to the quarterbacks. That's my fault for going off here. But let's start with the quarterbacks, Matt. Week 8. All right, I'm going to kind of go down the list here. We know the bye weeks here. So right now, first couple, let's do like 5, right? We'll just talk about a couple people here. So we have the top 5 on their rankings in week 8 projected. It's not my rankings. I'm not going to, I have them, but I'll input a little bit. Patrick Mahomes against the Jets. All right, they have his number 1 guy. Russell Wilson against San Francisco, who is giving up the 8th fewest points to quarterbacks. But we'll talk about them because it's kind of deceiving. Pittsburgh, Lamar Jackson, number 3. I don't agree with that. I think that's probably the toughest matchup in the top 5, in my opinion.
Lamar Jackson at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Pittsburgh. I mean, we'll talk. I'll tell you why in like a minute. But like, man, when I looked at their like who they went up against and who got shut down by them, it's pretty tough for him. But Aaron Rodgers against Minnesota, probably the best matchup in the top 5. Matt, 7th most fantasy points Minnesota's giving up. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, Davante Adams went off last week.
Off. Dude. That's really all you need to know. He was part of a triad that devastated the butthole of my fantasy team.
Can we just say rip to the people or anyone who went up against Davante Adams and Tyler Lockett on the same team?
I'm one of them. I went up against in my league where I'm getting killed, where I'm desperate for a win at this point. Like I said, there was a triad. It was Aaron Rodgers, it was Tyler Lockett, and it was Tom Brady.
Oh my god!
It just hurt. And then I had a combine. Tell you what. Why don't we go over this real quick? I'm sorry to go on a tangent.
Go for it. That's what the show's about today. It's for us to vent out, man. We're venting today,
So I had Tom Brady we do some interesting scoring in this league. Tom Brady with 31.94 points. Tyler Lockett with 42.98. Aaron Rodgers with 24 points. I'm going to throw in Chicago's defense here because they got him 15.8 points. And we'll just drop Todd Gurley in the mix with 20.3 points. And do you want to know what my wide receiver core and tight end were able to pull off in this matchup?
What?
Michael Gallup, 0 points.
Yikes.
DJ Chark, 3.2 points.
Oh boy.
Julian Edelman, 1.9 points. Mike Davis, 5.4 points. Dalton Schultz, 3.4 points. My highest scorer I had 2 high scorers that weren't quarterbacks, and it was Giovanni Bernard with 17.7 and Melvin Gordon with 11.4.
Where you didn't start Gio?
I did start Gio.
Okay.
I did start Gio. And I had
Yeah.
Josh Allen with his second lowest performance.
Wait, is the Melvin Gordon mean you made the trade?
Yeah, I made the trade.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, I actually like have to do something here. I was like, I'm in too bad of a spot. Like I was losing too many games, and I would have lost this game if I hadn't done. I mean, I would have lost worse if I hadn't done it because I had nobody going for this week. So I was like, fuck it.
Well, it's funny because like Sean texts me the trade, and he's like, "What do you think of this?" And I like in my head, I'm like, "What do I think?" Is I helped facilitate this trade, or like I helped, I helped. If this happened, it's because I was involved in someone.
Yeah,
I helped out. Involved in this. I was a consultant in this whole process here. And I hope he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna watch this. So if he does,
he might. You're
welcome, I guess. But dude, yeah. So I had a weirder situation where I actually faced off against Tyler Lockett, but I asked Russell Wilson. And so that saved me because I also had Kansas City's defense that finally delivered really big for me. So I had AJ Dillon for 1 point. Dude, I just, you know what? If we're gonna do this real quick, let me just do something. Let me tell you my running back situation in my main league. For me being a guru and all, but it's injuries for me, unfortunately. Ready? I got for next week Aaron Jones, which I'm hoping starts, and Tevin Coleman, who is not even off IR yet.
Oh.
On my bench, I have AJ Dillon, Gibson on bye, and Eckler IR. That's it. I have not been able to get a running back.
Wayne Gallman?
Gallman, I think, is gone. So let's just take a look at my waiver wire, guys. We're gonna try to figure this out. So I have a bid in for Michael Piron right now. Future value. I don't care if it's 6-7 points. I'll take that right now. Is Wayne Gallman there? Wayne Gallman might be taken. No, he shouldn't be taken. He had the game this week, right? Yeah, Wayne Gallman's still there.
Yeah, Wayne Gallman should be, yeah.
And LaMichael Piron is there. So those are the two that I was going after. They also we'll talk about this, but DJ Dallas from Seattle, Chris Carson is going to miss some time, so I'm not sure. Like, if you looked at the injury report, there's like 6 injured Seattle running backs, and like the only one healthy is DJ Dallas. And then I heard also, if that's the case, you're not going to have anyone coming from the free agent or waiver wire or anything like that because they have to go through a week of whatever that is, a COVID thing. So they can't see the field for like a week and a half. So it might be like DJ Dallas might be the only guy, but it does, if Hyde's available, then you're wasting your money. And so, I mean, for me, man, like you said, maybe Wayne Gallman will be the second guy, especially because I think Devontae Freeman in practice today, from what I heard. So. If you guys need something like that, I mean, listen, I'm going. That's like bottom of the barrel. So I mean, for me, those are the guys I'm going to go after.
So you take DJ Dallas over Carlos Hyde at this point?
No, see, that's yeah. Sorry, yeah. Carlos Hyde. I don't trust the tightness. I mean, he could go, but I'm not going to spend the big money on him just for him to not go.
He's already fucked me once with that this year. So
yeah, I don't have enough budget for that. And I literally have one guy that is playing on my team this week, and I need another running back. So, I know there's some people in my league, because I'm doing so well in spite of all that, they're like trying to like go out of their way to get running back. Like they're trying to cock block me. You know what I mean? So, I mean, dude, it's tough. But that all being said, man, I think I'll go with that. Wayne Gallman seems like a good option. If you guys need someone, keep in mind Devontae Freeman is injured. He might not play this week. It seems like he might not go. If he misses tomorrow and definitely Friday, he's definitely going to be out. So like we said, man, the theme of this really is venting today. All right, we're going to try to identify some people that have been pissing us off at the most part. So I'm going to kind of talk about some of those guys. Some of the guys who we think will be, we'll kind of have our hit-its and quit-its throughout, but we're not going to identify the ones that
we're not going to go as hard as we normally do. It'll be more
right.
of a casual walkthrough.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Yes, no, me.
All right, so in terms of the quarterbacks, man, I'll tell you one dude that's been kind of slowly getting on my shit list, Matt, and I'm a little worried, and this matchup this week does not make me any more excited for him, is Josh Allen. Probably had one of the hottest starts that we've seen in a while, and it didn't seem like all of the problems, the guy can't throw, he doesn't make accurate this, he doesn't. All of a sudden, that was gone.
It was just like the Titans seemed to almost knock it out of him.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he can get it back together. New England isn't I mean, I don't know what to think of that matchup. I
It's a tough
actually really
matchup.
don't.
Well, let me
It's
see here.
divisional.
So let me see. So when we go into the defense right now. So let's get an idea. New England's defense is giving up the fourth fewest points to quarterbacks. That's not great. Like we said, it's not a good matchup. To give you an idea, Matt, let's see here. We got. Let me just screen this on the page a little bit more here. So they played Jimmy Garoppolo, who had 7 points. Now here's the thing: the quarterbacks outside of like 2 or 3, really, not that great. That Jimmy Garoppolo, who I'll admit is playing better, whatever, but he had a bad week last week.
Yeah.
7 points there. Drew Lock put up 3 against them. Patrick Mahomes. Okay, so let's look at the bigger guys, right? They have Patrick Mahomes, Carr, and Wilson weeks 2 through 4. Wilson in week 2.
I love that you just included Carr as a bigger guy.
Hey man, we'll talk about him. That's one of my guys.
I'm not knocking him, but it's just I still wouldn't quite put him on the level of Mahomes, Wilson just yet here. He's been balling though.
No. I'm just saying good quarterbacks playing good football. And
gotcha.
Derek Carr last couple of weeks has been playing good football, in my opinion, man. I mean, you can't deny where's the stats here. Where is he coming in? Okay, he's still kind of down there, but let's see. Last couple of weeks, though, 19, 23, 20 points the last 3 weeks. By the way, since we talked about him on the show, that's how that went. So 300 yards, 3 TDs week 5. After you said that, 284, 2 touchdowns last week. Raz and I picked him up because we needed him, dude. 19 points last week against a good defense, though. You have to note that he's also playing good defenses, Yeah. So, yes, so I'll include him. He did have 15 points in the game there, but he did have 261, 2 touchdowns. He just didn't get anything over spectacular against them. But so then let's just talk about Wilson, Mahomes. Mahomes 20 points, Wilson 33. Had one of his best days, 5 touchdowns against them. So while, it's a tough defense, there's also a possibility that Josh Allen could do something. I mean, it is a decent bounce back week. Cam's not playing particularly well. I mean, I'm not thrilled about them. That being right, but that being said, it is a concern. He has definitely regressed since the beginning of the season. Just taking a look at it here, very easily. I mean, 28 points week 1, 34, 31, 25. So he's averaging over 25 points in first 4 weeks of the season, Matt. Last 3 weeks rather, 16. I'm sorry, 16 points. Oof. 15 points. He had 16, 13, or 16, 15, 16. I mean, you could say whatever you want to say, but like that's kind of the Josh Allen that we expected.
Yeah, and more or less. But we're just hoping he comes back just because he's got some receiver injuries too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Well, John Brown, but I mean, you got Cole Beasley, you got Stephon Diggs, and they're playing great.
Cole Beasley, who I left on my bench like an asshole.
Cole Beasley was like one of my starts of the week. I had him in DraftKings also.
I should have played him.
But all right, so then going down the list, Matt, Carson Wentz, we talked about it the other week, man. He's been playing well. Dallas, Sunday night. In my opinion, Matt, I have my list rankings here. I just wanted to tell you where I had him because my rankings are bonkers this week. I have Carson Wentz, Matt, at number 5.
I mean,
number 5.
If there's a game for the Eagles to really bounce back and fuck themselves into winning the division, it's this one.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, this is going to be the first year we see a team with a truly devastating losing record win a division, and it's going to be the Eagles. And that's me as a Giants fan, you as a Washington football team fan saying that. None of us deserve to be outside of the top 10 in terms of draft picks.
Yeah.
Like none of us do. And the Eagles are going to fuck themselves right out of a top draft pick just to get blown out in the first round of the playoffs. Unless they somehow miraculously get healthy and their offensive line remembers how to play, which I doubt.
Yep. And the funny thing is, Matt, it's you know what? We say Dallas is so bad giving up points. I'm actually looking at the point differential, and they only gave up like plus 20 points to 3 guys. It's just that the 3 guys went off. Kyle Murray had like 29, Wilson had 36, and Matt Ryan had like about 29. Jared Goff had 10 against them. Baker Mayfield struggled a little bit. 15. Now, granted, some of those games I do know that Baker and them got ahead, so they stopped. And you guys, Daniel Jones had 8, so I don't know if that counts for anything. Oh man!
I will say their pass rush should be a little bit less potent now with Everson Griffin getting traded.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll see how that affects things. I do agree that they don't really have fight. It is a little ridiculous that nobody went to back up Andy Dalton.
I mean, listen, I'll be real with you, man. I just thought it was like I don't agree with it at all, like at all, like at all. I'm a Washington fan, and I thought there should have been a suspension. I think it's an injustice that he didn't get suspended because that's exactly the kind of hits they're trying to avoid. I mean,
Yeah.
there was no reason for it. He didn't try to
Did
get
Andy
up at
Dalton
all.
fuck
No.
your wife? Like, why are you hitting him like that? Like,
Yeah.
for what reason?
Even like I think I even heard like Washington teammates were like, "Dude, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
You know, like what are you doing here, man?
Now, by comparison, this is actually a point of contention, as you saw in the 4th and 1 fantasy football chat. What did you think of that Deshaun Jackson rat fuck piece of shit hit?
I don't know if I saw the clip.
Because when I first saw it, it did look like there was to give background to everyone. There's a big battle in the fantasy league that Dave was kind enough to join for my podcast, and there was two of our
My team went off.
fellow league members were going off about this hit, where one was saying no, like he should have gone after it, like it looked like he was getting back up, you got to take him down, and the other guy was like he was clearly down the entire time. And for what it's worth, from what I saw, it didn't look like he was totally down. But when they did the replay and they showed Jackson like had actually hit the ground and was just kind of like, I don't know, stumbling almost, like that's when I was like, okay, yeah, throw the flag. This was the right call. But from an initial standpoint and from the angle the Giants tackler was coming from, I was like, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Saw the replay, I was like, yeah, little fucked up, throw the flag.
Wait, so
are you looking up right now?
Yeah, this is in our chat.
Yeah.
I only see the clip for the Zach Brown hit. Is that what you're talking about?
No, this is way back. This
Oh,
was Thursday. This was Thursday or Friday. This is probably Friday.
Oh yeah. Okay, I missed this whole thing.
Yeah, there was a lot.
But I mean, like, it's just if it's I don't know. I can't find the goddamn video. Here we go. Wait, is this it? Yeah, Deshaun Jackson injury versus Giants. Okay. Video unavailable. Got it. Okay, cool. Hold on. We're gonna. Sorry, chat. I'll just edit this part out. Yeah. Oh, come on. If you think, I'm sorry. Like, all right. So now that I saw it, though, like, if you think, wait, so they were saying that it's a dirty hit, and you're saying it's not?
I was so like initially, Timmy was saying like, no, he absolutely should have made that tackle. It looked like he was getting back up. It wasn't a dirty play. And Sean was saying, no, it's definitely a dirty play. Like, flag deserves to be thrown. He was definitely down. From the first angle I saw, I was like, that doesn't really seem that questionable. It did kind of look like he was bouncing out of that. And as a Giants fan, we have a bad memory of Deshaun Jackson getting hit, dropping the ball, picking it back up, and running it in for a touchdown on a day that shall not be named. So part of me was like, he's just playing through. But then I saw the tackle from a different angle, and I was like, oh, no, he was definitely down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
once you see it from the
but
facing the field, it's the left-hand side. He's absolutely clearly down.
Okay, but so he was coming from the right. My argument would have been he's coming from the right, So
exactly.
Like he had the same angle as we did, and from our original angle, I mean that didn't look like he was completely down. I mean,
yeah, no, I totally.
That's
agree.
not a dirty hit. That's not a dirty hit. The Zach Brown hit is a dirty hit, and that's probably what that conversation was. Yeah, I mean, that's it was ridiculous, man. It really was, and honestly, as a Washington fan, it kind of like. It didn't make me excited. Like, oh my God, we're gonna dominate. Like, no, I'm like, oh, now we're playing Ben DiNucci. Like it's not even fun beating the Cowboys with that kind of shit going on. So
yeah, it's bullshit.
But you know what? While we're talking about the game, let's just go into it. What do we do with the receivers? What do we do with CeeDee Lamb? What do we do with Michael Gallup? What do we do with Amari Cooper? Because now, I mean, you thought it couldn't get worse, Cowboy fans or fantasy fans. It just got fucking worse.
And like CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup did nothing. They were just there.
Like, did they literally do? I think they literally did nothing. Correct?
Yeah, I think CeeDee Lamb got 0.1 point or something like that, which means he might have had a rushing yard, and Gallup had 0. I don't even think he got targeted.
Oh my God! So yeah, So only one receiver had more than 0.1 fantasy points, and that was Amari Cooper with 12.
What, 2? Yeah.
Amari Cooper with 12, and that was on 7 for 7 for 80 yards. So I mean, he still got involved, but like CD Lamb, and that was with Andy Dalton. Remember, Andy Dalton. Lamb, like you said, 0.1. Michael Gallup did not even get. I mean, he might have got targeted here. Yeah, 2 targets, no catches.
Oof.
I mean, listen. Last week on the show, I straight up said, Matt. And, you know, hey, listen, if we had more people watching, then you guys would have made great moves and you would have been good to go. But, hey, it is what it is on your end. I'm not salty about it. No, not at all. But, dude, honestly, I said trade Michael Gallup. I should trade him last week. I was like, you know what? It's just not going to it's not going to be the rotation thing.
At this point.
And now the value just shot. You could trade Jerry Jeudy before you trade Michael Gallup.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to have to drop him. In all honesty, like that's what it's looking like.
I don't know, and that's unfortunate. It sucks, man. You know, it sucks this year. But I know. I mean, if you have CD Lamb for the most part, you know, unless you're keeping it for fantasy value, if you could try to trade him for anything, even something smaller, I would jump ship. And for me personally, Amari Cooper absolutely. Because of the 12 points he put up, I'm trading him like now.
Yeah, he's the guy who, if you're going to move him, you need to move him.
You know, last week I said do that. Like, I'm telling you this week, do it, because one more week, and if it doesn't go that way, you're going to want to get rid of him. Everyone's going to be like, nah.
Speaking of drop candidates, I've got Mecole Hardman sitting on my roster right now for right now, because I'm dropping him for one of 4 players in order. Let me know what you think of this order.
Okay.
I'm either dropping him for Wayne Gallman, who's got first priority right now, Brandon Ayuk, DJ Dallas, or Carlos Hyde.
Brandon Ayuk. Debo's out, so he's number 1. Brandon Ayuk.
Probably going to get outbid, but
Brandon Ayuk. Yeah,
first.
Because he's also good keeper value, too, if you, at the end of the day, potentially. Dude, Brandon Ayuk's good. He's gonna have a big week.
I dropped him. I was pissed about it.
I dropped it too, like 2 leagues, because he was doing shit early on. And
dude, same with Chase Claypool in the same league. I dropped them both. I'm like, why is this what's happening?
I dropped him in mine and Raz's league where we need a receiver. We literally don't have one to start this week because Debo's out. But I had both of them, and I'm like, and we needed someone else, and man, it's been a clusterfuck of a year. All right, so. Yeah, so if you guys have Dallas receivers, trade them now while you can. Honestly, I'm at the same point with Zeke. Dude, Zeke's been just Zeke's a punk. I always hated Zeke. Like now I'm like, Matt, he's the one guy who's like I'm just like, good, fuck you.
He's a fucking Ewok, and he went to goddamn wherever the fuck he went.
Yeah, but
that piece of shit college.
But the bottom line is, guys, last 2 weeks, not just I mean, listen, he's had some games where he had like similar production. I mean, first of all, he hasn't broke 100 yards rushing all year. Yeah. All year. Forget the quarterbacks being gone. The fact that this offensive line is gone is the biggest problem for Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely devastating.
You know, I mean, and dude, I tweeted out this on Sunday. I was like, all right, like you know, they lost, who was the last guy? Zach Martin was the last one of their like healthy linemen. And I thought to myself, okay, now, and this is pre-Andy Dalton hit, but I was like, all right, Zeke, let's see how much you're worth that fucking contract now, because now you don't have the excuses. You don't have the quarterback and the line and all the crap that protected and made you look like an all-star. Let's see you do it without him, because the truly elite, right, Matt? The ones making all the big money.
They'd be able to do it.
They'd be able to do it regardless. Well, like we said, he has not gotten over 100 yards. Matt, he's only hit over 90 yards rushing twice this year. He's only had over 20 fantasy points twice this year in those games. He had 5 points last week, 8 points the week before. He's single digits last 2 weeks since the injury.
That is goddamn brutal.
And he has Philly this week. Get this. Philly this week, Pittsburgh next week, then a bye next 3 weeks. He does nothing for your fantasy teams right now.
Yeah.
And this is a critical, like we said, this is the fucking mid-season point. This is a critical point for fantasy teams. I would trade him now, and if you need a receiver or anything along those lines, go for. I don't care if it's a little lower value. Maybe you can bank on, hey, it's Zeke. In a keeper league or something where it doesn't cost crazy much. Yeah, or something like that. But like, if I have Zeke, I'm getting rid of him now. It's just not going to be pretty. If you think that they're not going to start stacking boxes with Ben DiNucci, now maybe he'll come out and play a little better, but I don't expect that against Philly, and I don't expect that against Pittsburgh.
I wouldn't.
You know, so listen, we're basically jumping ship on the Cowboys right now. Jump ship, guys. And I'm not. And it's not because. Let's be clear. It's not because you see this behind me and you see the hat on Matt's head. It's nothing to do with that. We loved those guys before this fucking thing happened, but
we were banking on them. We said at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have CD in our league.
Yep.
Want to trade?
Let's make a deal. Michael Thomas to come back, like that piece of shit.
I had someone text me something really funny today with Chris Godwin being out, like along those lines, like waiting for him to come back. He's like, dude, I've been waiting for Adam Thielen and Chris Godwin to have a game together all year. And I just started laughing because you look at the stat. If you had two of them, they have literally, it's like the week that one gets hurt, the other one's back, and then one gets hurt and the other one's back, and the bye and this and that. It's the craziest thing if you had that combo.
Are we not sure they're the same person? Hold on. Let's look up these.
What? Someone on our team?
No, I'm gonna look up his his measurables.
Who?
Chris Godwin. What if Chris Godwin and Adam Thielen are the same person?
I mean, that would be a.
Have you ever seen them next to each other?
Are they? What, do they look the same? Isn't one? Listen, I don't want to go here, but isn't one black, one white?
That could just make it even crazier. See, Chris Godwin 6'1", Adam Thielen 6'1". I don't know. Hold on. What else we got here?
Imagine they just look like identical, but like.
But it's just like a freaking. I don't even know, face mask or something.
Oh, we're going here right now.
Where the hell is like the NFL like stats for him?
I mean, I'm just gonna bring him up. Now, like I know it's not. I know there's no way they look alike, but that would be super funny if they did.
It could be really good prosthetic though. You know, like.
Listen, Robert Downey Jr. did it. We didn't even know it was. You forgot it was him half the movie. You know what I'm saying?
God, yeah. You know? I fucking love Tropic.
All right, let's see. I got a mugshot of the two right here. It'd be a hell of a prosthetic.
I mean, 6'1", 1/8. Let's see. Weight 209 for Godwin, 192 for Thielen. That's a pretty big difference. 20-yard split.
Oh, I'm dying now. Look at the face side by side.
Wait, hold on. I gotta go back to the
about
actual,
that.
Yeah.
About that.
Maybe we gotta put that up. But I'm just saying, if they're never, if they're both hurt different times, they could be the same guy.
was there like a movie like that? Like trading places or some crap?
Oh yeah, there's a few movies like that.
Probably like a million. I feel like it's a Parent Trap type of movie. But anyways, so we're getting off track here. By the way, my team in our league put up like 200 points this week.
Yeah, you did work. You did work this week.
I almost won by 100 for the second straight time. All right, so
I scored 100 for the second straight time.
Nice. Hey, baby steps, right? Hey, listen.
I was like,
Raz and I were like 1-4, and we came back and won 3 straight, or like 1-3 or whatever. We came back and won 3 straight.
Yeah, I just gotta rattle off some wins here. Just hope it works out.
So moving right along, Matt, let's go into the quarterbacks. Some of the other ones are kind of pissing me off in terms of just predicting. Matt Ryan. I mean, Matt Ryan, every time I say no, he says yes, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you think
never know.
Minnesota, I'm like, yeah, great matchup, but he's Matt Ryan, puts up 31 points. I'm like, all right, well, Matt Ryan's back. Let's put him a little bit higher against Detroit. 17 points. Yeah, 300 fucking yards, 1 touchdown. Thanks. You fucking joke. Man, he pisses me off more than Matt Nagy. Because and you know what? Let's just transition to it, Matt. I've been wanting to say this since watching this fucking game. Matt Nagy is the worst fucking play caller I've ever seen in my life, and I had to watch Jay Gruden.
Wait, what?
And I had to watch Jay Gruden in Washington for like 5 years.
He's supposed to be amazing.
He apparently is a good coach, but dude, he should not be calling plays. It's the most predictable offense. Would it kill you to throw a screen pass to fucking David Montgomery?
Apparently.
Or run the goddamn play? Would it kill you to run outside? And then they finally do in the second half, Matt. And guess what? He had like a 12-yard run.
Yeah.
No, but like there was a funny ass gif that was like, you'll appreciate this. It was like fans to Nagy, like, Don't run the ball. Why don't you run the ball outside away from Aaron Donald? And then it's like Matt Nagy, and it has like Captain America, the old Cap, sitting there. He's like, no, I don't think I will. I was dying, dude, because it's true. God. You know, that's what you get with Matt Nagy, and unfortunately, it curbs Allen Robinson's production. I think that pisses me off more than most. You know, you could talk about Terry. Terry, thank God, makes things happen with a questionable team. My God, but
I avoided Terry just because I didn't think he was going to be able to do it again. I thought he was going to be a rookie sensation and an undeniable talent, but I didn't think he was going to be able to replicate it in year 2 just because of the limitations of that team, that offense, and that former quarterback.
Which, by the way, he shouldn't be able to. But go ahead.
No, he's just doing it. I'm like, how are people not just double teaming him? Just being like, all right, stop.
I mean, like, literally, if you look at the stats, like, he has all the stats. The second receiver on the team is Logan Thomas, and he has like 20 catches for 200 yards. I mean, but you're right, man. Like, the touchdown the other day, did you see what happened with Terry in that game? So, dude, all right, first of all, Terry, I'm standing on Terry right now. Like he is you could say Chase Young, you can talk about anyone else. Any Washington fan will tell you, Terry McLaurin, like they have a hard on for him right now. All right, so in the game, he's kind of like Trayvon Diggs gets in his face, right? Stephon Diggs' brother, and kind of like says something to him, whatever, this and this. And it's funny because like they're showing it, but it's like between the play and it's like when they show a replay of someone else and they have him on the little thing. And so if you're paying attention, not to the clip, but to what's going on, you see them like jab it, like basically, and you literally see Terry walk away like, okay, yeah, sure, I got, and then he looks back, he's like, I got you, and then walks back to the line. Guess what was the next play? Touchdown against Trayvon Diggs, and just burnt the shit out of him. Walks past and like kind of gives like a little nod, like yeah. And so like him, just like he has a swag this year, but not a cocky swag. What you hear about Terry is he is a pro.
Challenge me, I'm gonna respond.
Like you know how Larry Fitzgerald is like you just know he's like the epitome of a pro. Study of the game, the way he knows it, the way he goes about everything, and
he's
his
still
humbleness.
Like 37 years old,
right?
However the fuck old he is.
He gave a lot of props to Terry, and there's a reason, because Terry's not just a great receiver. He is not the Odell personality, the give me the ball personality. He's like, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna work my ass off, and I'm gonna just beat you, you know. And after the game, Coach Rivera was like, Ron Rivera was like, anyone else have anything to say? And you get Terry like, excuse me, Coach. And, like, this is out of nowhere. They recorded this and everything. He's like, I just want to say, guys, like, from the offensive line to the defense, like, we really play. Like, he just going into this whole little thing, and you could just tell it was not, like, this cocky thing or this gimmicky thing.
Just, like, we're pulling it together.
And but it was so wholesome and just exactly what we, Dwayne Haskins should be. but
what is happening with him? Like, what are you guys going to do with Dwayne Haskins?
I think I was talking to someone about it today, and I think if you're going to move on from him, or if you just decide he's not the guy, move on now. Like try to get what you can for him. Josh Rosen, if you get his 3rd round pick for him, whatever, it is what it is. I have to think there's one team that might have value, but the longer he stays here, the more it's gonna go against us. You know what I mean? But I can't see him being here. Can't see him being here anymore. Because I mean, on top of what's going on, he just got this fine thing. Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't actually.
Apparently, like the night before the game, he wasn't even playing. He tried to like rent a room out for a family friend. Like, I don't know, who knows if it's the Smash or not or whatever it was. Right.
The Smash. Like,
right.
Come on.
Family friend. Oh, okay, sure. But so it's like then he got fined like $400,000. It's just like it's just a bad look. You're already going in this, and then like so it's just one thing I cannot stand. I defended him. He is immature. He cares more about people saying on Twitter than he does about, really just doing what he has to do. And for that alone, I'm like, let's go with Kyle Allen. If we suck, we suck. If we tank, we tank. If we can't get Trevor Lawrence, whatever. I don't even need Trevor Lawrence. Give me Justin Fields, Trey Lance. Give me someone who is a good prospect with mobility this time.
Yep.
And I'm happy because that's where we went wrong personally, us.
I mean, Kyle Allen's not even really bad. Like,
no, he's not.
He's been playing pretty well, I think. Yeah.
Kyle Allen's. I mean, he had a good game last week, but it's Dallas. But he's a pussy. I mean, there was the play against you guys, the 2-point conversion. What a pussy! I'm sorry. You
hilarious.
because he like you had like all right. People were like, well, he wasn't gonna make the pylon when he went for the 3-yard run. Listen, first of all, you don't know that. Second of all, the angle. Even if he was gonna get hit, he could have tried to extend out of bounds, and at least he would have been super, super, super close.
Yeah.
Instead, he threw it, and it was to no one. So what was better? No opportunity, or at least having an opportunity, a chance? Because he just said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do this." Well, you fucked yourself there. So I don't care what people say. Like he's not the answer, but I'm okay. Hey, listen, as long as he gets Terry points for me, I'm happy. As long as Gibson is able to do what he can do, I'm happy. Seems like that's kind of getting better now. I know it's Dallas, but like I am kind of going back to fantasy. I am a little bit more hopeful about those two guys. It's clear. We talked about the percentage, and I don't think that's changed. You know, like 86% or something like that, or 80% goes through them. Those are the guys. JD will fuck you on a little bit on Gibson's overall production on a week-to-week value. But he's not the guy. If I was you and he was on the bench and you had Gibson, get him as a handcuff, because if one of those two guys go down, I mean, you saw what happens when someone gets 20 plus carries on our team. We can do something. It's just that you look at his carries overall, and let me actually just look at this real quick. Right, let me just see his overall carries. He has not gotten, Matt, over 13 carries up until last week. He had 13 twice, and then other than that, he had 11, and then 3 weeks he only had 9. Oof. That's where you have the issue with him, and that's when JD was cutting into it a little bit, when the defense can go more. But here's the thing I said, Matt, like, people are like and I'm not trying to say Washington's a contender. They're like, they're so bad, they're just not a good team. And while we were not there offensively, we were not clicking, we were learning a new scheme. Look who we played. This is who we played the first 7 weeks, okay? Philadelphia, week 1, we beat them with all the injuries.
My God.
Right?
Poor Carson Wentz.
Poor Carson Wentz. Yeah, that game was nuts. Second, all right, but here's where I'm intrigued. Like, okay, yes, we lost these games, but like Arizona, Cleveland, Baltimore, Los Angeles Rams, and then we played you guys. And we lost that one, obviously, by a point. We got down to, well, listen, we could have tied it into overtime. We went for the win and we lost. It is what it is, And then we came back and beat Dallas. So, sure, I understand it's not like, yeah, okay, we lost to good teams. Great. But, like, it was probably the toughest part of our schedule. And now we have you guys coming back. We look a little better now. I mean, I'm a little more confident going into the second bout with you guys. We have Detroit. Yeah. We have Detroit, Cincinnati, Dallas. And then we have Pittsburgh, that's tough. San Fran's tough. And Seattle, offense tough. But not undoable. You know what I'm saying? From a Washington standpoint. Plus, I'm just talking about matchups here, Matt. That's next couple of weeks, especially after the bye. Terry has great matchups. Gibson has some really good matchups until you guys get to like Pittsburgh in week like 14 or something. So definitely some good value. If you could get JD McKissick, he might be there. But go ahead. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just chewing.
Okay. All right. So we kind of got through the East a little bit here, Matt. I want to talk about someone from the West Side of things.
No,
all right, because all right. So San Francisco. What do we do about the running back situation? Because I'm hearing so many things this week. Like I took up Tevin Coleman and I don't even think he's going to be active. But I'm hearing JaMychal Hasty maybe.
And didn't Jerick McKinnon literally not play just to give him rest? It was like the last thing he was healthy all week.
I feel so bad for Jerick McKinnon owners last week. I feel so bad for you guys.
That's brutal.
That's tough. Brutal. That is so tough.
To me, that's a big, you can't trust them thing. Like, because clearly, players and coaches fantasy's not their concern. That's not why they're out there getting paid millions of dollars.
No.
So, like, football-wise, probably a good decision. Mm-hmm. Fantasy-wise, he fucked you right in the pee hole.
So in the pee hole, dude. And it's like, and now, week 2, if you didn't get JaMychal Hasty, because people did pick him up last week, I think, or some of them. Well, some did. Now he's going to be, in my league, he's gone. So I can't even get him. I got Tevin Coleman.
Yeah, it's like, don't be hasty.
Right.
So you end up with.
It's such a tough thing. I have, like, I just want to go in my rankings here just to get an idea. So by the way, Miles Sanders coming back this week, number 6 on my list of running backs. Just wanted to say that about the East teams.
He is definitely coming back this week.
Yeah, I mean, if he's back, you plug and play against Dallas. They are, look at what Gibson just did. Enough said. You play. I don't care what linemen you got on offensive line going on in Philadelphia. They're not as bad what's going on in Dallas with their third string quarterback and that line. You fucking play every running back that you're going up. I don't care if it's the worst running back in the league. David Montgomery is a top 5
against Dallas.
If David Montgomery was playing them, he'd be a top 5 back this week.
Well, I'm saying anyone you have against Dallas, I think it's probably safe to play. Like any position overall is probably okay to go against them.
I mean, maybe listen. Boston Scott, deep. I might look and see if he's available and maybe try to go with that if I have to in a desperate play. I'm talking deep, guys. But this is the week that you might see it. Miles coming back from injury. They could get Scott involved. I don't know. You know, Travis Fulgham should go off, by the way. But Matt, so going back to these running backs here, I got right now, and this is the initial, so I'll have this updated for everyone that does follow it on the weekend. But 21, I have JaMycal Hasty, and then just a little bit above him, Jerick McKinnon. I do have at top 15, but I feel like granted, it's a little bit lower of a week. You're missing Gibson, James Robinson. You're missing Chris Carson because of injury. You know, you're missing Raheem Mostert, Joe Mixon. So there are guys out because of it, but like, is 15 Jerick McKinnon too high, Matt? Like, so I'll give you an idea before you answer. I have Zeke under him. That's how bad I have him right now. But I got Montgomery. Swift is at 18. Tough matchup. Above him, I have Melvin Gordon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Todd Gurley. And those are the guys rounding out the top 12. Oh, top 13.
13. It's crazy to me how bad Zeke's doing.
Yeah, it really is. Let's do this.
And I mean, you know what? Honestly, I'm going to go back to that real quick because people love to rip on Saquon. Like, oh, his pass blocking's not good enough, which I'm like, this is the most talented running back in the league. And that's not even just me being biased. Like, it's a fact. Like, you knew I said that when he was in college. I was like, he is going to be amazing.
Yep.
With no offensive line, your running back can't be effective. So it's like, you know, this is a huge indictment that if I'm any franchise in the NFL right now, like if I'm the Giants and, you know, you've got to rethink what's happening for next year because they should be hiring a new GM right now, not allowing David Gettleman to do whatever the fuck he's doing. Mm-hmm. I'm signing every fucking offensive line free agent I possibly can. We need to get someone in here that can help to open things up because we can't keep putting Saquon behind this makeshift offensive line and being like, do your best. You know what I mean? Like, see when you can get open, and that's how he gets hurt. That's exactly how, because he tries to do too much.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you also didn't. I feel like you didn't build wide receivers around him as much, and that's kind of like.
That's why it's stupid to trade away one of the top talents in the NFL because he's a perceived locker room issue. When in reality, it's just the media is making a big deal out of some minor things. Like, I'm not gonna say everything he was doing was okay. The interview where he bashed Eli kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but I still don't think we should have traded him, especially when Evan Ingram's not working out.
Personally, I just don't think he's worth the trouble. Like Odell.
I really don't think he was causing that much trouble, though.
I mean, not really, but like when I look at Terry, you know, it's just like, I don't know, maybe my standards are high now because I see how he handles himself, and it's like complete opposite with Odell.
Well, definitely. You know? Odell's definitely something of a diva, but like, you know, obviously, you know, if I had my picks, if I could have any wide receiver in history, Calvin Johnson would be lining up out wide for the New York Football Giants every single week.
Right.
Like,
True.
You know,
so you can see my screen now, right?
I could before. Now yes. Sorry, okay. I'm looking. I thought it was my screen, so
no worries. So I figured, why not just bring this over here, right? And we'll just have this, you know. Whatever, we'll do this, right? And I'll just have my shit on the screen. How does that sound? So it's easier so you can see what I'm talking about too.
That works.
You know, and I have my rankings here as well. Let's do this. We'll do all players. Week 8 projected. Perfect. Okay. All right. So we were kind of in the running backs too now, right? Somewhere around there. We're kind of just going West Coast, right? West Coast, right? Okay.
Right.
So yeah. So listen, in terms of JaMycal Hasty here, I just wanted to show you this because I had this here. So like right now I have Hasty and I spelled it completely wrong, so don't mind that. But I have him at 21. I have McKinnon here, but like McKinnon.
Out of curiosity, where do you have whatchamacallit coming back this week? CMC.
So I didn't add him yet. Because gotcha, I mean, when I first did this, it was more of like, just assume like Mike. Just assume if he's back, he's gonna be Probably like I might put him in the same spot just because I don't know how he's going to be in this return back or if they're going to supplement Mike Davis in maybe, you know. So on the safe side, I would say maybe I'll just do that for now. You know what I mean? But dude, Jared McKinnon, in my opinion, I have him at 15. But it just feels so high for me. Like I don't think he's going to be as good as I have him ranked. And I'm worried about JaMychal Hasty. Should I flip those guys? Did you go with JaMychal Hasty this week, I guess is what I'm asking, if you had to choose?
I don't trust that backfield at all.
But like for me, if I had him, I would have had to make a choice. Like who would you choose?
This is the thing. It's like part of me wants to say Hasty, but also if they rested McKinnon, excuse me, last week, they might start him this week. Yeah, they might start him this week. It's so fucking hard to call, and these guys are so even. Mm-hmm. All these stats between the three of their guys are so fucking even. It's so hard to call.
And the worst part is the best one from last week is not in. Like Jeff Wilson, man.
I would think probably Hasty, though, just because it feels like if they're going to fresh him for 1 week, you might as well leave him fresh for another.
Yeah.
Hasty's still got, new legs, all things considered. They got a stable of running backs. That's probably what I'd go with.
Let me show you something real quick. Ready? Look who the number 1 running back was from week 7.
Wait, this is the whole... Wow.
This is week 7. And so it's like, man, like that sucks. It really does. But that's why I'm like, listen, you have to, if you have Hasty, and he's a good play this week. I'm worried though, because we don't know how the time, we called this something back in the day in Denver. Denver fans know this well. Way back in the day, fantasy people do. Washington fans know this. Shanahanigans, or shenanigans, whatever you want to call it. I call it Shanahanigans because it's accurate. It really is because it's Kyle Shanahan doing his version of it. It's hard to trust any of them. But I'll tell you what, man. It's not the one that pisses me off the most in this division. The Los Angeles Rams, I'm so done with predicting Malcolm Brown or Darrell Henderson because every week I do it, Matt, I'm wrong. Every single week. And what the fuck is this? 11 points for Brown, Darrell Henderson, 8 points. Henderson had 5 more carries, sure, but like, why is Malcolm Brown getting all of a sudden 10 carries? You do 22 1 week.
That's why you can't trust these running backs by committee. You just can't.
It's beyond frustrating because now I'll say, all right, well, Malcolm Brown, you can fire him up. He'll be a decent RB4 flex or deep flex or whatever. Well, guess what? I'll get you 2 fucking points next week.
Well, what do you think about this? Should we just start saying whatever team's running back you have, you should play in this position? And then maybe ranking the upside of each player, being like, all right, 8th overall, we're going to say plug in a Rams running back.
Yeah.
If you have them, Malcolm Brown's 1A, Henderson's 1B.
I mean, we started doing that with the receivers, kind of, right? With the Cowboys guys, and that's kind of how I want to do it with them. I kind of do my rankings
between this and the Niners, between all these Californian goddamn running backs, except for Josh J. Oh, no, I'm sorry, he's not in California anymore.
Look.
So, yeah. All these damn California running backs. Name a California team that you can just pick a starting running back for.
It's ridiculous. Dude, hold on. Where is the other one? I just saw him. This is the discrepancy I have, and I guarantee you it's going to be flipped.
Yeah.
I mean...
It's going to be Cam Akers this week. Watch. It's going to be Cam Akers, 26 points. He's going to have 2 touchdowns and 80-something yards.
Yeah, right.
Like, it'll be stupid. Watch. If he actually has it, I'm going to be so pissed that I didn't bet on that.
I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, maybe we should put a bet on it.
Can I bet on that right now? It's like, can
all
I
right.
do that right now?
The Rise and Fall special, Cam Akers is going to get a touchdown. Dude, it's so frustrating, though. So, guys, if you're out there and you have these guys, like, I get the desperate play. If I have an option right now of getting a more secure guy, like, I am bold enough to say that I would rather start, like, LaMichael Pirine over some of these guys. Because I'm not saying he's going to go off. You know, he had 13 points last week. But, like, he's kind of going to be... I feel like he's going to be the guy to slowly take over and long-term investment for the end of the season. Pirine's a really interesting guy to pick up. Do you agree with that, maybe?
I agree with that.
You know, they don't have anything else. Let's take a look. Last week, we started to see it already. 11 carries. Now, granted, Gore was a better runner, but, like, Pirine matched the carries. He had the 3 targets in the receiving game. Listen, that's 4 more. That's 3 more targets, right? And he had the touchdown. So,
yep.
I think you will start to see him get a little bit better and better as we go here. We definitely have seen an uptick, you know, last week, and they said they were going to get him more involved. They wanted to. So, I think he's a very cheap option, or I don't know how cheap he's going to be because it's very deserted, I guess, at running back right now. But dude, I'm putting like $44 on him this week. I have to.
Oh wow,
I have to. I don't have a choice. I mean, I really don't look at this. Ready? I don't have a choice at all. I have Coleman, Jones. Look at the like Godwin's now out, so I'm hoping that Deontay plays. If not, I'm gonna have to start Judy, and I can't play anyone else or Tyler Higbee.
Oh,
you know, so
God.
So I'm gonna try to drop AJ, get Michael P. Ryan. I'm gonna go after Scotty Miller to replace Godwin and take that
Scotty
because
Mills.
I mean that's gonna be the cheap option. But look at this, I'm about to spend almost all my whole budget for these guys because I have to, and so you know, but I'll tell you this much: I tweeted out before, Matt. I just want to go to my page real quick and just tweet. Go to my page, and just check out the where was that? Tweet it. Oh. I have this new mouse that scrolls like really crazy.
Oh, crazy fast.
Okay, here we go. So AB won't be there, right, this week. Scotty, healthy. Probably last week we're going to utilize him before AB.
BVF Scotty.
Yeah, dude. So he ended up as a top 10 running back, or top 10 wide receiver rather this week. And the Giants defense, like I said, they're going to be good. But remember what we talked about with James Bradbury? You're telling me he's not going to be shadowing Mike Evans this week? You know? And if that's the case, then I do predict that Scotty's going to be the one to benefit from the pass game here. You know, your defense is good, but they're still giving up 11th most points to wide receivers. So that tells me that the number 2 on this team is going to get that volume this week, Matt. So I'm all in on Scotty. I think, you know, if you need to play like I do, you know,
yeah,
I'm going to
maybe pick up a little Scotty Mills.
I think if you have like Godwin, especially, it's a good guy to have as a handcuff because of how much he's getting hurt, and you could really just even if Antonio Brown comes back, then okay, Scotty's going to take if say Godwin gets hurt again, they have Antonio Brown back. What they're going to end up doing is Antonio's going to play outside probably, and they're going to move Godwin on to slot when they're all healthy. So what's going to happen is if Godwin's out, then Scotty Miller's going to go in the slot, and he's going to be that guy. So it's like you have his handcuff, if you will. If you go Scotty Miller, that's probably the best handcuff to have for Scotty Miller in terms of the guy above him is Godwin. So
fair enough.
I think it's like for owners like that, it's a little bit better for a long term.
At least until Antonio Brown comes back, yeah.
Even with him though, like what I'm saying is like he's not bad to keep on the bench, in particular.
Well,
because
I put him in second in. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying in particular, like if Godwin gets hurt every week, then you have the guy that you could just plug and play. You'll have the guys going in. You know, they're already past their bye, I think. Are they? I might be wrong about that. Hold on. No, they're not past their bye. They have a late bye though, week 13. So.
Ooh. Well, yeah, I just put in my second priority bid is now for Scotty Miller following Brandon Ayuk. So we'll see.
I would go Ayuk over Scotty for long-term value. Overall,
Scotty doesn't know.
He doesn't. I was looking for something that referenced that instead, and it just didn't. Like that's all they had was Scotty didn't know. But I was like, that doesn't really make sense for what I'm trying to say here. You know what I'm saying, kid? All right, so
is he gonna get the points? Scotty doesn't know.
Right, Scotty doesn't know. So we talked about Seattle. Just touched on that again. I just want to go to their team here because, so like we talked about, Matt, Carlos Hyde had a great day. Tight hamstring. We don't know if he's gonna play. Carson's out. DJ Dallas, as of right now, is the only healthy guy on the roster. I may put him as my second waiver priority for running back with like the AJ Dillon swap here, Matt. Mainly because I think people, if Carlos Hyde is still available, which he should be in a lot, some people might go after him, and you might be able to sneak by in a league that maybe doesn't follow the news train that much. You know what I'm saying? In the deeper leagues, you're probably not gonna, you have to bid for him. But yeah, so I do like DJ Dallas this week, Matt.
Fair enough. He's up there too, so we'll see. I'm excited. It's like Christmas morning, kind of like, ooh, I wonder if I got what I wanted.
Yeah, right. It really is, and
especially since I'm out of waiver money. It's just like, let's just see what happens.
It's funny because we do the show and I'll forget to like do my bids sometimes, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna take the scrap heap, But like, I always miss on those guys, and there's always guys available too. That's what pisses me off the most. But all right, so let's just go to the receivers, Matt, because I want to talk about them for a little bit before we get into tight ends, and we'll call it a night.
Word up.
Well, I think we're only at like an hour now.
Yeah, we're actually doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're fine.
Good.
So
I did house a surf taco burrito though.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. I might have to eat some. I might have to order some late night, snackies. So all right. So going into the running backs here, guys on bye, James Robinson, Matt, one of the best pickups of the year so far.
Yeah, I missed out on that one. Not happy with myself.
He is legit. no matter what is going on in the offense, he'll have a down week here or there, but most of the time he's doing really well.
Yeah.
I mean, look, this is solid stuff, man. Against a team he wasn't. I had him ranked pretty down last week. I had him like 25, so he showed me up, and I'm really happy about that. I mean, that's a good week.
Yeah, he did. It's a very good week.
Realistically, man, you just got to give him more than like 16 touches, and he's gonna get you at least 9 fantasy points. So like if he gets that volume, which should be every week, even in bad weeks, they try to get in the ball. He's getting receptions. Oh, this is one thing I wanted to show you though. But check this out: our number 1 running back, Matt, Alvin Kamara. Okay, because he's number 1 leading in points right now. But get this crap. I noticed this earlier. Receptions. 46 receptions. He's obviously leading the league in receptions. That's how they're doing it, and that makes sense, right? 460. He's 230 more yards than any other running back receiving. But here is where it gets fucking crazy. We go to the receivers. He would be 5th in receptions, and in terms of yards, he's pretty much 7th in yards receiving this year. I mean, quietly, Alvin Kamara is having a stud year. I mean, stud.
Well, it's because there's no piece of shit Michael Thomas to just be like, I'm gonna run a slant and catch this ball. I'm gonna run a slant and catch this ball. I'm gonna run a slant and catch this ball. And then as soon as someone says, "Oh, you run a slant," he's immediately a little bitch.
It's crazy. Like, he doesn't do anything after the catch. It feels like at all.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like, all right, bro.
Another guy here, Matt. I know you had Mike Davis last week. I like him this week, bounce back week. Even in 15 fewest yards, this is his I call it the
swan song.
Yeah, this is his swan song, man. This is the end of tour, He wants to end it off with a bang, so I think
final countdown.
pretty much, man. I mean, I still have him at 7th, I think. Yeah, I have him at 7. So, and like you said, if Chris McCaffrey's there, you kind of bump him in, but just be mindful that he's still in a red jersey today.
Gets the bulk of the carries. I can't imagine that the Panthers are dumb enough to force McCaffrey back just like this. Like, even if he plays, we might only see him for a series or two just to get him, acclimated again. I think his week's going to be next week. So, like, all the McCaffreys out there, I'm one of you. Hold on, just one more day. Hold on.
I agree with you, man. I agree. I think, if not, it's okay. Like, Davis, I think, will have a good game. If he's not there, I think you'll be fine starting either one this week. And honestly, even if you have, like, Mike Davis and you had to rely on him with McCaffrey back, I still think he's going to – I don't see them just, like, going bull cow, or bell cow, rather, McCaffrey anymore. With the way he just got hurt.
I would hope they do next season. You know what I mean? I think the issue was lack of because the high ankle sprain, I feel like there've been so many of them this year, and I think it's from lack of practice. Nobody really ramped up; they just came in hot.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Well, do you think? I'm curious. And from a non-fantasy perspective, do you think Mike Davis is on a different team next year?
I mean, they'd be dumb to get rid of him because if I was them, the big scare. I mean, it gives me scare that my star running back is just got like a pretty big injury that made him miss like half the beginning of the season. He is like granted, he's not. They've proven that they can kind of produce without him, which is good.
Which is not the same level, but it's still
not
very,
the same
very
level.
Good.
Well, what happened was when he was in, they funneled it through him. It was kind of like they force fed it to him. I think if they kept Mike Davis, they wouldn't have to force feed him, but they wouldn't have to split the carries to the way where it's like, okay, McCaffrey's value is not RB1 status. Like, he's still going to be RB1 status.
Yeah.
I just think Mike Davis could be a really good change of pace or third down back to kind of help out and or do what Washington doesn't have them both on the field at the same time because they could both catch the ball too.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you see what Rule said where he's like, now once McCaffrey's back, we've got 3 guys that we can put anywhere. And he was talking about, obviously, McCaffrey, Davis, and Curtis Samuel. Yeah.
Ass. We're gonna get Curtis Samuel more involved. Four for 45. You know what? This week's the week we're gonna get him really involved. 3 for 25. All right, you know what? We're gonna get really involved next week, and we're really gonna talk a bit about 4 catches for 35 yards. Like, come on, man. Like, if you say it,
4 catches.
It's like I fall for, like, in DraftKings, it's like, and it's like, and he goes for like 3 fucking points, and it's like, bro, make up your goddamn, like, all right, either he's that good that you need to get him the ball more, and you're just not doing it, or You guys just are in denial that he's not that good.
Yeah, something's up. Something's up. No, you're 100% right. It's one or the other.
It's maddening. It's kind of to the point where it's like, you ever see the episode of South Park with Al Gore and Man Bear Pig? And it was like, it's Man Bear Pig. I'm super, no one believes me. And it's like, all right, yeah, sure. Let's just appease Al Gore. It's kind of like, okay, like that's how we think about Curtis fucking Samuel right now, because now it's like, oh, yeah, we're gonna get Curtis Samuel more involved. It's like, all right, yeah, sure, fucking, I've heard this one before. Fuck you, dude.
Oh my god, dude.
Like, I'd rather just go eat like a cave full of fucking fake gold and shit it out than put Curtis Samuel in my lineup. You know.
And we could never forget their names. Kid 1,
Kid 2,
Kid 2, Kid 3, and of course,
Kid 4. Hey, that looks like, it's like, wait, fake treasure? He just starts shitting it out.
He's like, no, I gotta go.
No, you leave me. You gotta let me go. Carmen, I can't, you're too fat.
You just have to save it.
One of the best. Did you see? I don't know if you watched like Keep Up with It, but I actually did did kind of recap. They actually followed up with like Man Bear Pig, and he was like real.
A couple more times.
Well, but like now he was real, and so they went to Al Gore.
Grandfather.
Yeah, and so they went to Al Gore, and like he was just rubbing it in their faces the whole fucking time.
Yeah. Dude, oh my god, it cracks up to know it. Like, one of the things from that show that will always make me laugh out loud was Cartman just shoving the coins into his mouth and washing it down with the water. Like, oh my god, dude, Cartman's really sick.
like that was like one of the that episode for me rivaled like medicinal fried chicken. Medicinal fried chicken. Nothing beats that.
It's
episode.
like a hippity hop.
It's like a hippity hop.
My favorite all time though is Good Times with Weapons, where they got all the
ninja weapons. Or the World of Warcraft episode.
That one's good too. World of Warcraft is really good.
How do you kill that which has no life?
But like the fucking song from the Weapons episode, Kimocho no
Tino, suck on my balls. Hey, let's go. I got two. Protect my balls. Hi, Bataille, let's party.
Let's fighting love.
That's what you get on this show. High quality music.
An anime opening. Yo, that would actually be great. I wish we could find someone to do that. An anime opening
anime editors,
for a podcast.
If you're watching out there, we need a new entrance to the show.
Oh my god. I'm tweeting it right now.
I know people that can do stuff like that, so eventually, like, if I had the money, I'll pay them when I get the money. So sub to the channel so I can make money so we can get a cool intro. Anyway, so going back to this game, yeah, that's kind of how I was thinking of a fucking episode.
I know, it's so funny. I'm putting it up for my pod too. I'm putting both our pods up like, we need anime opening creators.
Dude, so anyway, so going down the list here, we got Jonathan Taylor, number 8 for me, Matt, Josh Jacobs. Gio Bernard, I still like. Don't love him, but I like him. If he's starting, dude, you start him. That's why I learned with Gio Bernard. Going into the wide receivers now, though, Maddie. I'll let you look up your stuff while I'm getting this set up.
No worries.
I'm just talking to myself right now.
Wait, we're doing did we do wide receivers? Am I crazy?
Not really. We went to them for a second, but like we didn't really go into them. So now that I'm looking at this list, though, holy crap! All right, so Calvin Ridley. All right, no DeAndre Hopkins this week, right? Let me go to the Week 8 projection for them. So Devontae Adams, dude. I mean, what a fucking week we talked about him. He's going up against Minnesota, Matt, who, in my opinion, is not that great. I mean, look at what they give it up, though. Like, Julio Jones put up 29, Metcalf 24. I mean, Devontae put up 34 in the first week against them. So,
fucking Devontae,
yeah. I mean, he should have a monster week. I'm definitely going to try to get him into some of my lineups. Oh, and by the way, Matt, one of my kind of little things I want to throw out there for DFS this week, I think Patrick Mahomes is a must start, but not handcuffed with or not stacked with like any of his players outside of Le'Veon. Le'Veon, you put in the flex and you put
Le'Veon's going to go off this week
against the Jets.
Le'Veon is going to go off.
So Le'Veon Bell is guaranteed for a touchdown this week. Patrick Mahomes is guaranteed for an amazing week because, Matt, people are like, well, Jets defense is pretty good. Check this out real quick before we move on to wide receivers. Sure, They're pretty good, but look at the guys who didn't play that well. Not Josh Allen, but Ryan Fitzpatrick, Brett Rippon, Philip Rivers, and Jimmy Garoppolo are the ones who didn't play well. The guys who were pretty good, Josh Allen the first time, 28 points, and we know he's on the downslide. We talked about it.
Was the difference between those games home or away? I think the Buffalo opened the year at home, didn't they?
I think so. Let's see here. They were home. Yeah, they were home. They were at New York this week. So Bills were away. So they were home. They were home this week. This first one here. But long story short, Matt, I mean, look at the guys who are good quarterbacks. Kyler Murray and Josh Allen at the beginning of the season when he was like red hot, right? 26 plus fantasy points. Now you get Patrick Mahomes. All right, I really like Patrick Mahomes this week. I think he's actually going to do really well against this team. But I'm not like as thrilled with like we saw him do it without having to just give it to Tyreek Hill and give it to Travis Kelce. And that's what this week kind of taught me. It was like, okay, he can throw it to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He can throw it to Le'Veon Bell. He can kind of get Mecole Hardman involved. He got someone involved last week. But Patrick Mahomes doesn't need to give it to those two studs to get top-tier fantasy points. So I like him. So DFS, just wanted to throw it out there. He's like my DFS. I know he's going to cost a lot, but you don't have to stack that. You can get some cheap receivers to go with that. And then Le'Veon Bell, I don't know how cheap he is, but I think you could go with that stack, and he's pretty much going to guarantee you a touchdown, I feel like. I mean, that's gonna be nuts. Anyways, yeah. So going to wide receivers, Matt. So without DeAndre Hopkins, Adams is at the top of my list. All right, we'll go down to my list here. So we have Calvin Ridley, number 2. Keenan Allen, I actually have at number 3. That's pretty.
Hold on, I want to talk about your number 5.
Okay. I might change this. This might not be staying here. I mean, I'm respecting the name and the slant routes, but
I don't think he even suits up this week. That fuck.
All right, you know what? We'll mark him as red. We'll mark him as red, which means that he's going to be a faller and everything else. Tyler Lockett, we have at number 6. Tough matchup for them though, going into this game.
I don't see how you can sit Tyler Lockett. If you have him, you're fucking playing him, especially after last week. Like,
yeah, I mean, you're not going to. Yeah, and in San Francisco, yeah, they're tough, but they're not. Like, I think if Sherman's back, even so, I think that's more Metcalf's problem. He's not going to travel with these guys with those two on the field, so I'm not worried about that.
Left half,
yeah, so Tyler Lockett's definitely in line to go off again. So I have them both kind of up there, but I do have, this is the first week in a while, Matt, that I have like Lockett over DK. Realistically, you know?
Yeah.
And so another guy who I don't know if you'll agree with me, I have Kenny Golladay at number 7. Now, they have him kind of down on this list here. 13 fantasy points. He's going up against Indy, so I get the tough matchup, but I mean, dude, let me just bring this up real quick. Listen, I go for consistency. All right. And for me, the real floor, I think actually Jacksonville was somewhat of an anomaly just because it was like one less catch, if you will.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, his floor really is like 14 points. And it's kind of proving it. He's only hit his floor now. It's a tough matchup, no doubt. But I'll take a 14-point floor over anything else in the league right now. And he's, like you said, Matt Marvin Jones on the trade block, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, Kenny Golladay is their guy. I mean, he's their guy. And he's not a separation guy, but he makes some amazing catches. The problem is the ones he makes can get him hurt a lot. I mean, there was one he landed on his back and got hit and was so awkward. Beautiful catch, but like,
well,
eventually he's going to get hurt again.
You know exactly who I blame on that.
Yeah.
Same guy who I played for the decline of Megatron.
Yeah. I mean, Matthew Stafford, I don't think who knows if he's going to be there next year, but it's a tough outing. But I do like, as long as Kenny Galladay's healthy, though, he's kind of one of those guys you roll with him. So I have him at number 7 this week. A little bit, in my opinion, he's a little bit safer floor, even against Indy's defense, than like, say, one of the Seattle receivers. I could be wrong about them, but I could just flip those guys. At 9, Matt, I have Mike Evans. All right, you know, no Godwin, no AB. He's going to rely on, every time Evans is been by himself, Matt, he has double-digit fantasy point. He actually has a pretty good game. So I have him at number 9, but Mike Evans has like not played well lately. So I'm going to be a little cautious. I'm going to put him in red also. And that means that we're going to be cautious about these guys. We're not going to not play them. Yeah. We're going to be cautious. AJ Brown, love him. I don't care the matchup. They're going to force feed him the ball. As long as he's healthy, they'll try to spread the field. I do believe he's down on this. Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong list here. AJ Brown, yeah, so they're ranking him as a top 10 wide receiver this week against Cincy. Cincy's 16th fewest fantasy points, but trust me, he'll be able to get some things done. I just don't think he's going to have like 2 touchdowns this game. You know what I mean? Robbie Anderson, Matt. Come on. Like, Robbie Anderson has been fantastic. We said it on the show a couple of weeks ago. Top 12 back, or top 12 wide receiver for me this week, Maddie. What do you think of that?
I honestly don't hate it. Who saw this coming with Robbie Anderson?
and with Christian back, I actually think it's going to be better because it's going to allow.
It's going to open it up more.
Open it up more, exactly. So I think, especially if he's back, I mean, number 11 is not a bad spot for him. Tyler Boyd has a phenomenal matchup this week, guys, against Tennessee, giving up the 4th most fantasy points to wide receivers. If you have Tyler Boyd, you start him. I also, Matt, really like T. Higgins. He's going to be up in my rankings a little bit more than he is right now. I do have him above Jarvis Landry, Chase Claypool, and Scotty Miller, though. So he's pretty up there. He's 27 right now. But those guys you can plug and play into your lineups. Tennessee's defense on the pass game has been awful. So it's really, you're going to get a shootout there, I would hope. Matt, your boy, Brandon Ayuk, number 21.
Yep, I'm going to take him.
All right.
If I can get him.
I think I think one of my biggest jumps for me this week is Justin Jefferson, Matt. Now, let me tell you why.
Jess?
I have him over Adam Thielen. Now, reason being, if you guys aren't aware, there's a guy on Green Bay by the name of Jair, not Jairi, Jair Alexander. I think it's Jair Alexander. And Jair Alexander is one of the top corners in the league. He's one of the only corners that could truly shadow anyone, number 1 receiver in the league right now. He's playing that good. He shut down every single person that he's gone up against the number 1, and the benefactor has been the other guy on the other side because that Green Bay defense is still not that great. They are giving up the 11th fewest points to wide receivers, but some of them are doing some things. The other guys, Zacchaeus doing some things. Emmanuel Sanders, he was number 1 there. Marvin Jones, number 2, number 1, whatever. Adam Thielen. So they got some things going here. You could throw on them. My analysis, Matt, is that Jair is going to be on Adam Thielen. That's going to open it up for Justin Jefferson this week, so I do have him a little bit higher. It could be a little too high, but I'm going to roll with him. If you have Justin Jefferson, he should absolutely be in your lineup. It shouldn't even be a question this week. I know he's a rookie and they can have those weeks, but this is the week where I expect the shadow to be on Thielen, not Jefferson. If I was going to test someone, I'm going to test Justin Jefferson, the rookie, over Adam Thielen. You don't want to let him get it, in the open field exposed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Allen Robinson, I have a 16, Matt. DJ Moore, I like this week too. I mean, I think the passing game's great in this Thursday night matchup. I'm going to really rely on that in my showdown lineup, most likely. Fulgham at 19. Again, it's kind of similar. Like, look at what Terry did last week. Look at what these receivers are doing against Dallas. Fulgham is the legit number 1 for them right now. And for the rest of the year, he should have a really good game this week. I love the Eagles players this week, by the way. Carson Wentz, Miles Sanders, Travis Fulgham, and even Richard Rodgers, Matt. I would be okay starting if you needed a deep flyer at tight end.
Dickie Raj,
baby. The Rams receivers I have a little down here, guys. Marquise Brown right now at number 24. Cole Beasley 25. He might go up. I still really like him, even with John Brown back. We talked about Deontay Johnson or T. Higgins. Deontay Johnson will be up a little bit more if he's healthy. I just don't know what his situation is. And Matt, he's a frustrating guy because every time he starts to do something, he gets hurt the next week. He's one of those guys right now, and a guy that I might have to rely on.
Yeah, which is scary. I mean, and there's so much talent in that wide receiver core right now.
So much talent, and it's like we know Juju's going to be gone next year. Like, here's the thing. So I just want to go back to where's Deontay? They probably have him ranked a little bit down here, but let me just look at Deontay real quick, his stats, because I wanted to show you the targets, right? We talked about that all the time when we talked about him before. First 2 weeks, right? He had over 10 targets both weeks. Then he got hurt, had 2 targets. He was hurt again in the week 5 game, got 1 target, was out the week before. Comes back, Matt, guess what? 15 targets. So when he is fully healthy and he is in the game fully healthy, he has gotten no less than 10 targets. I mean, the guy gets targets. Ben
wild.
Loves him. So
that actually is wild. I didn't realize that about his targets.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy. He has double-digit targets in the 3 games that he's been played the whole game. And it's just the injuries. Like you see, the last 4 weeks, injuries just kind of plagued this whole little first part. But if he's in this week, you put him in your lineup. Last week, by the way, I'm so pissed because I should have put him in my lineup for DraftKings. You want to know how much he was worth on DraftKings?
$200. No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
No. So in case you guys don't know, DraftKings, it's by the thousands, right? Really low, like low range to mid low range, really low range is like 4,000, right? Like 4,500. Anything for 500 up is average. Deontay Johnson was like 4,200 last week on DraftKings. 4,200. That's like, oh my God. Like the guys that were there compared to him, it shouldn't have been a question. He should have been in my lineup and I didn't put him in. But I had him in there too. I took him out. But Deontay Johnson, if he's good to go this week, guys, fire him up. All right. That's the only guarantee on Pittsburgh right now is when he's in, he gets 15 plus or 10 plus targets. I'll take that. You know what? Yeah. The volume will be there. And we love volume on this show. So, Jamison Crowder, really tough matchup this week, Matt. I don't know if I'm touching that.
I don't know if I would touch that either. I mean, he's really their only threat.
Yeah.
Like, I will say good for him for producing on a shit team.
But he also has already missed 3 weeks. He's banged up, right? Going into this game. He's playing the Chiefs. We don't know what this game's going to turn into. If they get ahead early, and it's very possible they do, Jamison's value's done. But Matt, like we talked about, dude, no less than 10 targets every time he starts. I mean, listen, if he's in, even against the tougher teams, when they got blown out, literally shut out, he had 8.3 fantasy points.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys who, again, if he's healthy, I know it's crazy, Matt, but I'm going to fucking put him in. If I had Crowder and Deontay Johnson and they're both healthy and I had to rely on them, I'd feel comfortable knowing that if they stay healthy. Now, granted, injuries, yes, that concerned me. But in terms of production, that's 20 plus targets for those two guys. Minimum, So I love those kind of players, especially the ones that get hurt. If they have that volume when they're back, then it's worth keeping on to them and whatever and do what you got to do. But I do like, I'll start Crowder over T.Y. Hilton. I don't care about the matchup. Don't matter to me. Marquise Brown, weirdly a good matchup against Pittsburgh, but I don't trust that. I don't trust I know they can score on them, no doubt about it, but quarterbacks have struggled. I do think that Lamar, like we said, has a rough day. Mike Williams, Matt, hey, listen, if you were on the show last week, which you weren't, but if you listened, I said it about Mike Williams. Don't get too excited. He's going to literally regress back to nothingness. And, I mean, I can't even tell you how right I was. I can't even tell you this. 25 points, goes to the bye, comes back for 0.9 points. Shouldn't have picked him up. Shouldn't spend the money on him. Bad if you did. You're an idiot.
It's rough. Because, a couple years ago, remember we were huge on, I was like, yo, I think Mike Williams is going to go off this year. And you're like, dude, good call. And he did. He was fucking awesome. And then since then, he's just kind of been like, hey, still, it's me.
Injuries have plagued him, it seems like.
That is true. That is true. Which injuries seem to hit, and I hate to say it like this, but have the worst effect on wide receivers. Yeah. I'd say when it comes to positional groups, it really, really does.
I mean, it's hit running backs, but it's like running backs have just been thin to begin with. So it was it's just been unfortunate. It's been unfortunate for almost every position outside of tight ends. Right now, tight ends has just not been a good position. Hasn't dealt with as many injuries though, overall. Oh, some of them have. But anyway, so some deep guys down here. Corey Davis, we don't hate him this week. I really don't. I don't think he's going to do great, but I'm not going to go out of my way to start him. But again, if you need a desperate play, he might be better than, say, your AJ Greens or maybe even your Julian Edelman. I don't know how Edelman's going to play this week. A guy down here, though, again, Cole Beasley. I don't care the matchup, man. He's the slot guy. So he's going to get that volume. And let's just look at this, man. I mean, this is good shit, bro. Yeah, sure. If his floor is 8 points as a flex guy, if you need him, it's not terrible at all.
Yeah, I mean, I got him on my team, so he's going to be starting now.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if John Brown's out, guys. Look at this, 12 for 11, 112. I believe John Brown's been out for the last 3 weeks or something like that. So, yeah, go ahead and start him if you have him. Again, I'm not worried about him as much this week. Tim Patrick, Matt, listen, I know you weren't on the show when I said it, but he did do what I said he was going to do. He had a good game, and then he came back and got hurt.
Timmy
Pats. Unfortunately, him being hurt just kind of derails any value he could have had. I didn't expect anyone to have him.
Because how bad was his injury? He didn't tear his ACL, did he?
No, I don't think he's hurt, but right now it's just this team. Drew Lock just doesn't look great, so I wouldn't really trust him right now to begin with. But it did seem like they were really keying in on Jerry Jeudy, to allow Tim Patrick to do well. So he was in a good position to get some, looks his way, but it's just, it's unfortunate timing. So I don't know if you're listen, unless you have Melvin Gordon, I'm not touching the Broncos at all.
Yeah, I got Mel G. Melvin Gordon came home. In my fantasy league, I had Melvin Gordon for like his first like 3 or 4 years. Last year and this year were the first years I didn't have him on my team, and now he's back. So let's go, Mel. Let's get it, Gordon.
and listen, last week, what did he do last week? Did he have a decent game? I didn't really see. I think he had 10 points or something like that, right? Or 11 points. Yeah. So last week, 17 for 68 and a touch. He had a couple receptions, I think. No, actually, he had a fumble or something, right? Either way. I mean, as long as he's in, outside of the game against Tampa Bay, which is Tampa Bay, you're not going to worry. It's not. Yeah, that's not every defense is going to be like them. He's put up double-digit points for you, so yeah, I'm fine with him. Especially this week going against Los Angeles. It's not your best matchup in the world, but it's also not your worst, and it should, if they can get it going, should be a little bit more of a high-scoring game. To a degree. I don't think it's will. You just gotta hope that Denver can keep pace with Los Angeles. With Justin Herbert the way he's playing, they have to slow him down. If they can figure out a way to do that, Melvin Gordon should have a fine day. Because no one's talking about this either, and right now they shouldn't because of how bad they are. But the revenge game.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a revenge game. Is this his first one?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, right? They haven't.
Yeah. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure I can't say this. The weather keeps coming up for it. Yeah, so they don't play them again until week 16. So this is the first time they're playing. I love revenge games, so you go either way. I might try to go with. I don't know if I'm going to go with Melvin Gordon in my DFS, but if you have him, yeah, I mean, I think if anything, he should if they have goal line carry, he should get a touchdown. All right, so they just have to get there. They just have to get there once, and I think they're going to definitely try to get Melvin Gordon a touchdown against their own team. Divisional games can be sloppy, so you're going to start him. You feel okay about it. We talked about Jerick McKinnon, talked about Darrell Henderson. Matt, we'll go back to wide receivers here real quick. Another guy I wanted to just mention before we kind of move on to the tight ends is Stefon Diggs. Buffalo, we talked about Josh Allen, and we talked about, the failed production. They are going up against New England. Stephon Gilmore is going to be there, giving up the 13th fewest points here. Before we go into his stats, I just want to take a look. Let's take a look here. See, DK Metcalf had 17. Lockett had 16 against him. Hunter Renfrow had 17. So the main guys aren't doing too bad against them. Brandon Ayuk had 14. So they're getting some points there. And I'll be real with you, man. Even if the stats are down a little bit last week,
I mean, he's been consistent as fuck.
I mean, those targets are they love getting him the ball. And if Cam has a meltdown this week, now it's divisional. That does kind of give me a little pause. This offense hasn't been playing well, but I'll have more hesitation rather starting Josh Allen than I will about Stefon Diggs still. 11 targets last week, guys. 8 the week before, 16 the week before that. He hasn't had less than 6 all year, and he hasn't had less than double-digit fantasy points outside of last week, and that was really just, it is what he saw 11 targets. So Stefon Diggs, you don't feel too hesitant about that. Don't get cute with that. I do like them to get some points, do what they have to do. Devontae Parker, Matt, though, I'm not thrilled about this matchup. He gets Jalen Ramsey this week in Tua's first start.
Yeah.
We don't know what to expect. And Tua, this is a weird thing to say, Matt. Tua's a lefty. If they don't flip it, it could be more Preston Williams and Gesicki for a rookie quarterback than Parker, no?
No, it very much could be. And I just traded Gesicki.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, I had to trade Gesicki and Tua to get Melvin Gordon. So I mean, it's what I had to do. I mean, like, even if Tua goes off, I can't start him over Josh Allen or Kyler Murray.
The thing is, I don't know. Like, I think he'll play okay, but this week it's just not a good matchup specifically for Devontae Parker. I'm going to avoid that a little bit this week.
Yeah,
I know you gave him away, but I do like Mike Gesicki. Let me just see what his projection is here at tight end. They probably have him decently up there. So they have him at 8.55. I mean, not bad against tight ends. 12th most points the Rams are giving up. So I do like Gesicki this week. I think security blanket status could definitely be the case with him. and Tua. But yeah, man, I agree with you. I mean, listen, you had to do what you had to do. Melvin Gordon, you know what? You'll feel better about that. And I know you have Jared Cook, right?
No, I didn't get Jared Cook in that.
Oh,
The trade we ended up doing was for I've got Dalton Schultz because I'm waiting for Dallas Goedert to come back from IR because he's a target leader in Philadelphia. But I got Henry Ruggs, Julian Edelman, and excuse me, I'm trying to do a podcast. Henry Ruggs, Julian Edelman, and Melvin Gordon.
Gotcha. Okay, it's not terrible. I mean, it's not terrible, but
no, it's like I needed it. Yeah. Honestly, it's just like I couldn't keep
so who's your tight end in the meantime?
Dalton Schultz.
Is any of these guys available on your list?
Let's take a look right now.
Probably Cole Kmet, maybe. You should get more involved.
Let's see. Hang on.
Like some guys right off the top of my head that you might be able to plug in that might be a better option than Schultz right now. Actually, is like Irv Smith.
So we got the top 10. Richard Rodgers, Hayden Hurst, Austin Hooper, Eric Ebron.
Is Rodgers available in yours? Richard Rodgers?
Richard Rodgers, Tiki Raj. Yeah. You thinking Tiki Raj?
I don't know. Here, name the guys in your free agent. Yeah, name the guys on your waiver wire.
Sorry. So Richard Rodgers, Hayden Hurst, Austin Hooper, Eric Ebron, Trey Burton, Tyler Higbee, Drew Sample, Dawson Knox, Greg Olsen, Butler, who lines up as wide receiver and tight end. That's interesting.
Yeah, you could do that, but he hasn't played yet. I'll be honest. My favorite option there is the guy having green, Trey Burton. Let's just take a look at Trey Burton real quick then while we're going to tight ends because I really like what he brings to the table. Let's just go to Indianapolis, right? So Trey Burton.
Who scores without Mo Alley Coxon?
Yep. So last week when he was in the game, 5 for 4, 58 yards, a touch. Right, like you said, you had the 2 scores. Had the rushing touchdown too. He got super involved, and this is like the first week he came back like really healthy. And he had
an interesting point. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I would say I'm starting Phil Rivers this week too.
I like the combo. Philip Rivers loves his tight ends. I've said this the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, Phil Rivers loves his wife's vagina because he can't stop shooting up the club.
Kids, man.
Popping kids out. It sounds so exhausting. I'm tired just thinking about that.
Well, you know what the good thing is? He can make a little bit more money because he's going to throw touchdowns to Trey Burton this weekend. And I know he likes Trey Burton as long as Trey Burton's healthy. This is a good matchup for. I mean, it's not a great matchup. Don't get me wrong, but Detroit is not at all amazing. They did get Griffin, but he's not going to be there. So third fewest tight ends. Let's see if we should be deceived by this though. Hayden Hurst, Tyler Eifert, Josh Hill, Daryl Daniels. Tanyan had 9. Jimmy had 10. Yeah, really good against tight ends, my ass. All right, any decent tight end has had 9 points against them.
And I'm sorry, doesn't Tanyan have a touchdown there too? Yeah.
So... the 2 touchdowns there, and Hurst had 9.8. Hurst is on an awful fucking team. He's been bad half the damn year. I say bad half the year. He's his 3rd best game against them last week. 7 for 6 at 68. And let's be real, Trey Burton will most likely be more involved because Philip Rivers likes him and whatever. I can see his volume going up. I think if you're going to go after someone, go after Trey Burton. The only thing that you can't predict is that, like, if he gets injured, but, like, that could be anyone. So,
hopefully not.
No, I don't. Listen. I like him. If I had to choose one for you right there, I would go with Trey Burton, even in a tough matchup. That's a deceiving stat for the tight ends right now. 3rd fewest, my ass. Every decent tight end has gotten 9+ points against them. I might go and try to pick him up if he's still there. I might. Fucking do it. Anyway, so while we're doing that, might as well just go into the tight end rankings here. I have him at number 11 on my list. I'm not fucking around about Trey Burton this week, dude. I didn't just say it for my health, you know what I'm saying? Jonnu Smith, by the way, if he's back and he's healthy, I love him this week. I think he's a great matchup, number 5. We talked about Gesicki, Fant, Hunter Henry. I'm not thrilled about these matchups. It's just, tight end is what it is. Yeah. But I do think, I'm telling you, if you need someone on the waiver wire, Richard Rodgers there, Trey Burton's there, Cole Kmet's there, Harris Bryant, right, whatever. Trey Burton is the guy. Philip Rivers loves his tight ends. All right, before Trey Burton was back from injury, look what Mo Alley Cox was doing. You know, he gets the ball to them. And Trey Burton's the guy. Mo Alley Cox is hurt. He's out. Jack Doyle has not been a non-factor. He's been in there all year and not done shit. So if you guys need someone off the waiver wire, Trey Burton is your guy to go for.
Hey, going for it.
All right, he's gonna be a top 10. I think he can end up being top 10 in points. I think he'll get you. I think he'll get you at least 9 points this week.
I won't be mad about it. You know, I'll leave him in there too. Like, let's see what happens.
I mean, let's be real. You look at this. There's not the tight ends is like so. This is the comparison I wanted to make a few weeks ago. Ready? 147 kind of points the running backs are putting up at this point. 195. Obviously, quarterbacks will be a little ahead. Wide receivers, finally getting to 120. A little bit lower than this area, but like just around the same. So 120 is kind of like the average for the top tier guys. I mean, this is the tight end position for you.
Yeah.
In a nutshell this year, guys. I mean, that's what you're dealing with. So when I say Trey Burton can get you 9 fantasy points, you fucking take that because they're not getting you points this year.
Yeah, they're not doing it.
It's just not happening. It's very inconsistent. Outside of like if you have Kittle and Kelsey, and even these guys had their weeks. Look, Kittle 6, 8, 7 in the first week. He struggled a little bit down the in some games. Kelsey 4 points last week. It's a vulnerable position, unfortunately. So you have to I know in our league, Matt, we have an option to put a tight end, and there's like a bunch of them on the waiver wire. That's how bad the position is. We have T.J. Hockenson and guys who we're not even going to think about picking up because they're not putting up the points that wide receivers are right now. So that's all I kind of have to say about tight ends, Matt. Minnesota, I like Robert Tonyan too. Is there any guys here that kind of sneak out to you? By the way, T.J. Hockenson, I'm staying away from that this week.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit's always been one of those teams that it's tough to predict where the ball's going to go.
This is what doesn't excite me though. Look at the numbers. He's very when I say touchdown dependent.
He's got pretty. Oh, actually, never mind. When I say back. The first couple weeks, he caught everything.
Right. The first couple weeks he played well, and last week he played well. But you're doing that against Atlanta, and you still didn't put up
amazing numbers.
Yeah. Arizona, you could put up points against. Chicago. Yeah, the first game was good, but
yeah, but even his shittiest weeks here, these week 4 and week 6, if he doesn't get that touchdown, you're furious, and even so, you're not happy with that.
Right now, granted, the points he's putting up is good enough to be a starting tight end because look, like we said, it's low, but the it's very touchdown dependent with him right now, and it does scare me because you could look at other guys, look at the other guys above them. They're at least, this guy's in a way too, but very hit or miss. But Kittle, they get yards. Travis Kelce gets yards, and TJ Hockenson just doesn't quite get yards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's just he's athletic, he's good, but yeah.
And by the way, speaking of a guy who doesn't get yards or apparently any fucking targets anymore because another tight end on the list decided to take his list is fucking Jimmy Graham. I mean, at this point, Cole Kmet in the mix, Matt, do you drop him? Because he has a great matchup.
Remember Jimmy Graham? Remember Jimmy Graham?
I recommended him last week, dude. I recommended him on this show, and I started him even in DraftKings, and it completely fucked me. And I just... it sucks because it's a really good matchup too this week. Look at this. So New Orleans is giving up the second most fantasy points to tight ends. But the problem is Cole Kmet is going to be the guy maybe. I don't know. So so I would love to recommend to you Cole Kmet based on the matchup. But for me, Trey Burton's a safer option. I mean, at this point, Jimmy is a top 10 tight end by necessity, but...
By necessity, he just simply must be.
Yeah, but listen, if you don't need the depth, if you have him as a backup, I have him in Hunter Henry, and while Hunter Henry's hasn't been amazing, I'm still not going to start Jimmy Graham over him, right? So I personally would maybe try to if tight end's so needy, try to trade him, and you can't just drop him. I understand getting rid of him. You want to maybe keep for the matchup. Sure, but trust me, man, Cole Kmet's going to fucking steal something again. It's the second week in a row it's happened. So, Rob Gronkowski, by the way, love the matchup, but I love the player, but I hate against you guys. I do not like that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm scared of this game. Monday night, don't do this to us.
but no AB, no Chris Godwin. It's doable. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to dominate them, but it's definitely you can definitely.
There's one thing I'm excited for about this game, and I don't even know if it's confirmed, but there's a rumor that we're rocking the retro 90s jerseys for it.
Ooh, the helmets?
That's
with the New York the different helmet style?
Yep, and the blue with the red outline. And if
Love
that's
that.
the
Love those
case,
jerseys.
that means that it should eventually be on sale on Fanatics, and they will get my money. And that's more than the Giants deserve from me this year.
Listen, man, I'm jealous because like I can't even buy Washington gear right now. Like just don't have any.
Honestly,
you know?
no, you should
It's gonna
buy
be rare
this year
down the
because
road,
it's gonna.
right?
Yep.
I was thinking about getting like a jersey, if anything, and getting like Chase Young, so it'd be like his rookie jersey, and you'd know because it's a Washington on it or something.
I think that'd be really smart.
But like I really want to get an authentic Terry jersey, man. Like he's deserved it, you know. By the way, I do actually kind of like Jared Cook, your boy, this week.
Oh yeah, Jay Sizzler.
Yeah, so just going back real quick, Jay Sizzler,
Hey,
Jay Sizzles, baby, let's go.
Jay Sizzles, I got Jay
Oh my
Sizzler now.
God! So we got Jay Sizzles here at number 15, guys. I might absolutely bump him up though over Evan Ingram and TJ. No.
Evan Ingram needs
Maybe
to
not
be cut.
TJ.
I could literally walk onto the Giants right now and outplay Evan Ingram.
And why are they not like? They said they weren't going to trade him either.
Because David Gettleman's a fucking asshole, and he secretly hates the Giants. Him and Jerry Reese, I think, just had a pact. They're like, hey, we're both going to be GMs of this team, and just fist them. Fist them into submission.
Like, you guys have made some puzzling moves, and I'm just like I even heard a quote that, like, oh, you're going to stay with Daniel Jones, and I saw some of my fans like, all right, yeah, go for it. Thanks, Dave.
Honestly, Jones isn't the problem.
No.
He really isn't. Like, all things considered, it's not Daniel Jones. It's the offensive line. And now it's an interesting predicament because if we end up with the first pick somehow, if the Jets stop fucking themselves and we end up with the first pick, you either trade down, which would be the smartest thing we could do because I do think Jones has talent, and we stockpile picks, or we take Trevor Lawrence and trade either Jones or Lawrence to the highest bidder.
Yeah. It's funny too though because like listen, I'm not gonna go where some people go with this, but like I'm not saying he's good, but like Daniel Jones has not played, in my opinion, that much better than like what I saw out of Dwayne Haskins. And it was like so I think it's such a weird situation, but like, you know, it is what it is. Like I'm cool moving on from it at this point because like I think there's some differences. Like Daniel Jones at least has some mobility that he brings where Dwayne doesn't have that.
Yeah, and Daniel Jones just needs to get more comfortable, which is tough because there's no pocket to get comfortable in, and just make better decisions. And
I also think he also had the rookie year that they could be like, all right, well, he had this really solid rookie of the year. You know, this is like a makeshift team. Whereas like Haskins, like he didn't really be able to prove that yet, and like I just think it's
he hasn't had the chance. Haskins
unfortunate
in the same position Josh Rosen was in.
Yeah.
That's the way.